Are you ready to learn how to elevate your cut files? You are in for a treat today with an amazing Cricut class and giveaway. For National Scrapbook Day, I'm going to share how I made this adorable Easter layout, and I'm joining the HipKit team for 3 days of classes. Hello everyone, Miss Carrie here. Happy National Scrapbook Day. The HipKit team is so excited to share some projects and techniques with you. All weekend long, there will be videos, lives, and giveaways that you can participate in. I encourage you to also join the challenges because you might have a chance to win a gift certificate to the HipKit site. Today, I'm going to share a Cricut Design Space tutorial and show you a few ways that you can use HipKit cut files. Let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start on the HipKit Club site. As you can see, there is an awesome sale happening this weekend, so make sure you check that out when you grab your cut files. I will be using 2 of the March cut files. This one here is a free download for anyone who registers on the site, so I'm going to add that one to my cart. I'm also going to use the Easter basket on my project. This is free for HipKit subscribers. Just make sure that you're logged into the site before you add it to your cart. As a HipKit subscriber, your cart should total 0. Go ahead and check out as usual, then download the 2 files to your device. I'm using a Windows device, and this is what those files look like in my Downloads folder. These are zipped or compressed folders. So I need to extract or unzip each one of these. The unzip or extract feature is built right into most devices. I have added a download that's entitled Extracting SVGs. This is a guide that I created a while back. You're welcome to download the worksheet and refer to it when you're using cut files. So these 2 files here are the ones we're going to be using when we upload into Cricut Design Space. Let's head into Cricut Design Space and upload these into our library. I have opened up a new canvas in Cricut Design Space. I'm using the desktop application, which does look a little bit different than the mobile app. To add the new cut files to my library, I'm going to tap on Upload over here on the left and choose Upload Image. I'm going to tap on Browse, then locate one of those cut files that I downloaded. You will want to use the SVG image. On Windows devices, this has the Microsoft Edge logo. Select the SVG and a new window will open. Go ahead and click Continue. Over on the left are the image details. Now, my first tip for you is to label those SVGs. So over there on the left, you can see I have the image name, the tags, and a set of folders that I can organize my SVGs and projects into. When you upload an SVG into Cricut Design Space, it goes into your image library, and I'll show you that in a moment. You can search for the images using the title or image name and the tags. I like to label mine with the name of the image and the name of the creator or company so that I can give them credit when I use this file. Below this is the tags box. This is where you can add words or phrases that you might use when you're searching for an image in your library. So I'm going to add the words spring, title, hello, and HipKit. When you upload a cut file, they are only being added to your personal library that's attached to your account, and you will be the one searching for them. So use terms that make sense to you. If you organize your projects or images in files, you can go ahead and add it to a file. I don't usually do this because I search for them in my image library. All right, now we're going to upload this and add the next image. I'm going to follow the same steps, uploading the design, adding a title and tag, and adding it to my image library by selecting Upload. So let me show you how to find these when you're ready to use them again in the future. Tap on the images icon over on the left. Tap on Browse All Images and choose the filter Uploaded under My Stuff. Now I have uploaded quite a few designs in here. The most recent uploads show up at the top. But if it's been a while since you've uploaded a design, you can use those search terms or tags to locate the images you added. All right, so there is your first cut file tip. Let me share another. Before I show you this next technique, I need to clean up these files a bit. Some cut files have extra layers that we don't need, so I'm just going to open up the list here in the Layers panel and delete the unwanted pieces. All right, all done. I'm going to use the basket first, so I'm going to hide this title for a moment. I'll just tap this eyeball icon here, and now I can work with the basket by itself. So I brought in two shapes to represent my layout background because I want to show you what I plan on doing with this basket cut file. I want this image to peek out from behind the center pattern paper strip. If I try to make it large enough to do that, it doesn't quite look like a basket. It would be better if I cut it in two pieces so that I have part of the basket on either side of my page. Now I could do this by hand, but I'd rather let Cricut do it for me when it's cutting out all the pieces. So here's tip 2. Use cut or score lines on your cut files. The first step is to resize this image to fit the background. I'm going to size this at about 8.5 inches high. I'm going to pull this over to a blank area of the canvas, and then I'm going to bring in a score line. I'm going to tap on the shapes icon over here on the left, select score line, and this gets added to my canvas. I'm going to drag this over here near my basket. Now this line is designed to score your images or create score lines in like a card base. Let me bring up another project that I made. When I was making this butterfly page, I added score lines to the center of my butterflies so that I could fold them. So here's one of the ways that you could use this line as a score line. For this project, I want it to be a cut line. To change this to a cut line, I'm going to select the score line and go up here to the Operation menu. Then I'm going to choose Basic Cut. Now this is a cut line. All I need to do is change it to the height of the basket, which is 8.5 inches. And then I'll use the Align tool to center this over the basket. I'm going to change the color of the basket here real quick just so you can see this better. You can see that that line goes right down the center of my basket. It's going to cut everything right in half. Before we move any further, I need to attach these two together. If I were to try to cut these out right now, the cut line would not be attached to the basket. It shows up as a separate image on a cutting mat in my preview screen. To attach these together, select both images, then tap on the Attach icon on the lower right side of the screen. All right, now our basket's ready for our page. Let's bring back that title. So I want to create some fill letters for this. Now I could just cut them out by hand, but like I said, why spend the time doing it if my Cricut will do it for me? So here's tip 3. Use the contour tool to fill your files. The Cricut Design Space has a tool that will remove the cuts or contours from a cut file. This tool is located in the lower right corner. When I select the word spring and tap on contour, a new screen pops up. This shows all the cuts or contours associated with this image. Let me exit out of this. If you want to add fill letters, you need to duplicate the image first. That way you have an outline image and an image to create the fill letters with. I'm going to select one of these images, tap on contour, and remove all the outline pieces. You can do this by tapping on the image pieces themselves or by tapping on the contours in the list of images over here on the right. When I close this window, I now have a set of fill letters for my title. Now our time is short today, so I'm going to leave this as is, but I do have a video on my YouTube channel that shows how to make a title cut from multiple colors or patterns. I'll add a link to that in the description below. All right, so now you've learned 3 ways to alter your cut files in Cricut Design Space. Let me share my final tip. This one is for cutting images. I'm going to tap on the Make It button here at the top. Check my preview window to make sure that that cut line is attached to the basket and move to my material cutting window. Here we choose the material that we are cutting. Most HipKit files have lovely intricate cuts that can easily be ruined if you don't select the correct material setting. I suggest that you choose the option cardstock for intricate cuts. This will slow down the machine and it will cut the image in 2 passes. It takes a little longer to cut, but it's worth the wait when you see how much better your intricate designs turn out. This material setting is one that I use often, so it's in my most used or favorite material settings. If you do not see it here on this list, tap on Browse All Materials, Filter to Cardstock, then select the Cardstock for Intricate Cuts setting. If you want to add this to your favorites, tap that little flag icon. Once you've selected the setting, just tap on Done. Now this setting is great for up to 80-pound cardstock. If you're using anything thicker, which I usually do with cut files, choose the More Pressure option in this drop-down menu. This will ensure that your cardstock is cut through. All right, my friends, you just learned multiple ways to use those cut files from HipKit Club in Cricut Design Space. Let me share the completed page with you so that you can see how I used each of these cut files on my layout. Before I show you the completed page, I want to share the finished basket cut. As you can see, there is a cut line right down the center of this basket. Of course, you can place that cut wherever you need it to be. When I remove this from the mat, I'll have 2 pieces to place on either side of that pattern paper. The basket looks larger and creates an amazing background for my layout. Let me bring in the completed page and share what I did. As you can see, I adhered that basket in place and I layered some scallop borders over the top. I added a little stitching with my sewing machine for texture. The scallop was cut with the Etches scallop border die, which is one of the metal dies on the HipKit site. There are also some border cut files that could be used to line these edges. 2 3x4 photos were placed in the center with some large florals layered behind them. Both the floral die cuts and the puffy floral stickers are from the March Hip Kits. To give this an Easter feel, I added some die-cut bunnies. These are so cute nestled in those flowers. Below the photos, I brought in the title. I chose not to cut out hello and just use the word spring. I cut my fill pieces from pink cardstock and layered this over some flowers and a journal card. Feel free to use any of the title cut files from the site that work for you and use those simple tips I shared as you create your cut lines, score lines, or fill pieces for your page. The HipKit team is sharing multiple tutorials and projects from Friday, May 3rd through Sunday, May 5th. You can view all of the team videos on the HipKit YouTube channel and in the HipKit group. Throughout the weekend, there will be live streams and giveaways in the HipKit Club Facebook group. To participate in the giveaway, you will need to be a member of the HipKit group on Facebook. Each of the classes has an album and a challenge that you can participate in for a chance to win one of the gift certificates to HipKit Club. I'll put a link to the group in the description below, along with a list of the supplies I used today. I hope that today's project inspired you to try something new with your cut files. If you have any questions about this project, the supplies used, or the National Scrapbook Day challenges, feel free to leave me a comment. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.